Yo, what's going on with y'all? It's Keymajor back with another video for y'all today. As you guys read the title, today I'm showing you guys some methods and techniques that I did not only learn from Cubeatz, but tons of other super talented sample makers that I picked up after many years of making samples. So today I'm going to be giving you guys all my years of knowledge in around like 7 minutes. Most important thing when it comes to making a sample is sound selection. Over the years I learned that sound selection is probably the most important thing in my opinion. So I just opened up Analog Lab and I'm using the Coding Files Volume 2 Analog Lab bank. It's going to be the first link in the description down below if y'all want to go check it out. And I'm going to really focus on these multi-key presets, which are to me my personal favorite. So I'm gonna select this back cave one. Now next is the melody. When it comes to the actual melody, it's a huge portion. A lot of people struggling with creating the actual MIDI and what notes to pick and stuff. The way I learned over the years is to just start with a very simple idea and lay that down as a foundation. So it's a very simple idea. I just play it on my keys. But even if you don't know any music theory, it doesn't have to be too complex. Just start with a very simple foundation, simple idea. Once you have it, like I have mine here, put it on time, maybe move the notes, and then you go on layering and adding new notes on top. So as you can tell, when I first played it, where I just had the chords, it sounded really nice. It had that foundation, but it didn't have that catchy aspect to it. All I did is I just took the same melody earlier, the same top melody, which is going down the scale, and I just copied it over for the second half. And this really helps having that repetitive melody that gets stuck in the listener's mind. That makes your melodies really memorizing and just good overall. I'm gonna just layer this halftime on top and then just mess with the mix knob. So the second biggest thing is layering. Another thing that I learned throughout my years from a bunch of other sample makers is that the best sample makers take a simple idea, simple foundation, and then layer it with a bunch of other sounds, effects to make it a lot more full and just come to life and sound a lot better. So I'm gonna copy the same melody into another Analog Lab and I'm gonna go back into the Coding Files kit. So I picked this bizarre preset and then just copied the same notes over, and then I added a halftime with 100% mix. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm layering more of the low end for the second Analog Lab preset. This first one covers a lot of the mids, whereas this one has a lot more of the lows and make it sound more full and covering that empty space. Now I'm gonna do it one more time, but to cover more of the high end. So now we have a nice foundation. Now we're going to go into the second method that I use a lot that I learned from other people, and that's just experimenting and exporting and trying new things with the sound. This melody sounds very nice, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to export the whole thing and then see if I can flip it and spark some new ideas. I'm gonna create a new pattern and I'm gonna add some new instruments on top of this one. I'm gonna go into the Coding Files kit with the one shots and I'm gonna go and get this Alchemist bass. If you struggle to hear the low end and find the notes, try pitching it up a high octave so the tone is a lot easier to hear. I'm going to the one shots. I'm gonna pick this climate change key. Just use using the same notes I used up here, just down an octave, and then I turn the velocity down so they're not as loud and upfront. Next, I'm gonna go into the phrases, and I'm gonna look for a phrase to add in here. These phrases are just kind of like very simple starter ideas. They help improve a lot on your workflow and help just kind of wrap up an idea or either start a new one. I'm going to use this new VST I found called VarySpeed. It's completely free. Basically a type of delay that incorporates VarySpeed, which is basically just changing the tempo and the pitch of the original sample. Lastly, I'm going to give it some movement by adding pancakes, so it's just panning left and right slowly. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the first section with these sounds, and then as a switch up, I'm going to bring back the original melody, just kind of find a way to fit it in. Another important thing is just the arrangement. You have a bunch of melodies, you have a really nice sample, but another important thing is how you're going to present it. Arrangement is key. If I were to just put all the sounds in the first half, it would be way too much. So it's important to separate sounds, bring different sounds in for different sections, and kind of tell a story with your sample. And having switch ups, even if it's a very small one, always prevents your samples from being very repetitive and boring. So that's pretty much it for the sample. I could go on and add a bunch of more melodies, but that's the very last thing that I wanted to tell you guys that I learned. A lot of the best sample makers have such good samples, have good ideas, yet learn to do it with very minimal sounds. You need to make room for the drummer and, more importantly, the artist. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. All the sounds I use in this video are from Coding Files V2 with me and Keon. That'll be the first thing in the description down below. The kit is currently 50% off. The regular version is up right now, or you get the deluxe edition, which comes with a bonus kit with 500 sounds and 2 bonus tutorial videos on melodies, drums, samples, mixing, arranging, all that stuff. Like I said, first thing in the description down below, 50% off for a limited time only. Make sure you go cop. And that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoy and learn something new, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.